Adventures in a great new show. C'est an all-new Saturday morning. You see it bien, c'est an all-new Saturday morning.
Hello and welcome to Classic Cartoon Rewind, a podcast where we provide audio commentary and watch-along tracks for cartoons published between 1940 through 1999 that are either based on or inspired by comic books. I'm your host, Carter Hutchison.
I'm your co-host, Mike Thomas.
Mike, here we are, man. I've got a big old smile on my face.
I know you do.
You can't hear it in the air there.
I can hear it.
Yeah,
I can hear it.
I can hear it, see it.
See it.
It's all there.
It's all there. Like a Cheshire cat.
We finished the Max Fleischer series last week, and we are now starting Jonny Quest. I am super excited about it. So this one kind of ties into in our intro where we say they're either based on comic books or inspired by comic books, right?
Yeah.
Because Jonny Quest wasn't really based on a comic book to begin with. There's comic books now. There's a lot of them. But it was based on comic books, like just as a medium. So before I kind of get into a general series history here, Mike, what is your familiarity with the series?
Well, I've seen the series.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I was a kid, and I don't really remember a whole bunch from
The original show. Did you know there's three different?
I did not.
Yes. There's
So
a 60s one, there's an 80s one, and then there's the 90s one that's the real adventures of Jonny
which one are
Quest.
we watching?
The original.
Oh, okay.
Well, so if you haven't noticed, Classic Cartoon Rewind is going in chronological order.
I figured so. I just wanted to make sure
Right.
before I decided.
So we're in
after
19
this episode.
we're in 1964.
Okay.
Is what year we are.
Yeah.
So this actually, this is the chronologically the second one we're covering. There's a third one that, as far as our list of shows to cover on Classic Cartoon Rewind, called The Marvel Superheroes, which is a syndicated show in 1966. Almost impossible. It's been impossible to find. I can't find it online anywhere.
Oh, wow.
You can buy some bootleg, as in like someone like made it with a VHS player and then converted it to DVD probably. You can buy those for like over $100 on Amazon. And I love you guys. I'm not spending $100 to cover the
Unless
to cover
you
that
contribute
Marvel
to our Patreon.
Sure, unless you or donate if you happen to have the Marvel Superhero Show Syndicate or something.
Yeah.
We'll watch it and then send it back to you.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. So after Jonny Quest, we're probably going to go straight into the 1967 Fantastic Four cartoon,
Okay.
which should be
Holler at
interesting.
your boys if you got it.
Yeah. I wouldn't. It looks cool though too, but because it's like they would do little segments of Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America and stuff. It seems interesting. But that's neither here nor there. We're with Jonny Quest, 1964.
JQ.
JQ. Okay. So I just kind of want to set the scene here a little bit, right? And just a little background. Color TVs were only widely available starting in the mid-1960s. So we're at 64, so maybe people are starting to get color TV screens in their house, right? And I think a color cartoon like this that's going to have a big impact later. So Hanna-Barbera had been making kids' cartoons at this point for a while, but they wanted to get into action-adventure cartoons. And Jonny Quest was the first of their action-adventure series. The other ones would be like Space Ghost and the Herculoids and Birdman. This is really surprising. When would you think Jonny Quest would have aired? Like what day of the week?
A Tuesday.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Probably Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
I would have guessed Saturday too. Jonny Quest was on ABC in primetime Friday nights.
What?
Yeah, dude. Right?
Oh my gosh.
So that was my first big surprise here in finding like production notes. The guy who basically created Jonny Quest is this guy named Doug Wildey. Wildey was a comic book artist in the mid-50s for a company called Atlas Comics, which was a forerunner to Marvel Comics, in the same way that like National Comics becomes DC.
Yeah.
But this was at the time where Atlas especially was doing the horror and Western comics, right? Yeah, it was, we're in the kind of the beginning of the Silver Age stuff. DC's sales are down. And Marvel is almost bankrupt,
Yeah.
for the first time. And, so Wildly was on the Western animation stuff as far as the Western comics. And he was also working on a Sunday comic strip for The Saint. Are you aware of what The Saint is?
No, but you have told me about it.
Right. It's kind of like it's a spy.
Yeah.
It's a spy thing. Roger Moore was the Saint in a 70s show. That's what got him the Bond gig.
Gotcha. That makes sense now.
Yeah. And then they rebooted it in the 90s with Val Kilmer. And it's actually kind of decent. Some people shown that movie, but I liked it a lot as a kid. Yeah. Kilmer is the Saint.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like him. So Wildly was originally approached by Hanna-Barbera. They wanted to make a cartoon based on a radio drama called Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I had never heard of that either. I really like that title, though.
That's
Jack
terrible.
Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
That's so much like wordage there.
Yeah, totally.
I've never been a fan of like a lot of wordage and stuff.
Right, but I mean, I guess if you were like, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
But they don't do that.
Yeah,
It's
all
just the
on-
Avengers.
No, it's on like the cover of comics.
I know, but I'm talking about like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair,
Right.
fair. It probably would have just been Jack Armstrong, I'm sure, and then with like little letters, the All-American Boy. Anyways,
Yeah.
so again, that was a radio drama. Hanna-Barbera either couldn't or wouldn't get the rights to Jack Armstrong. It's kind of hard to figure out what's like the true story there. Either they didn't want to pay for it, or they just decided to scrap it. So Wildly kind of just converted all of his ideas to this character that he had come up with called Jonny Quest, which is a boy whose dad is a protected government scientist. And I believe he came up with Race Bannon first. Because if you'll watch these cartoons, Race Bannon really like drives the action. Like he's the main like action hero of it, I guess. Because Johnny and Haji are kids. Like they kind of get captured a lot in episodes, and it's Race that has to like physically do something about it. And in fact, you'll see a lot of scenes that were made for Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy, that were used in the intro instead. So there are some weird scenes in the intro that you don't see in the actual series. Involved, like some is like there's like Aborigines chasing this kid. There's like hovercrafts in the desert. There's like this sleek-looking jet plane and stuff taking off. Those were all from the Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy show that was scrapped. What kind of... is there a genre that you would describe Jonny Quest as, from what you know about Jonny Quest?
I mean, he's definitely adventure style.
Action-adventure.
Since we moved right from Max Fleischer to this, it almost feels like each individual Jonny Quest is going to be a one shot. There's nothing that's going to be timed.
They are very much like mini movies,
Yeah,
like the Fleischer series was.
They're just going to be one after the other. It's like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, today Jonny Quest goes on this,
Totally.
or Jonny Quest saves this.
Yeah, we don't really get like continued adventures.
I don't think that was
a while in cartoons.
I don't think that was a thing yet.
No,
so
there's no like previously on Jonny
Of
Quest,
course, yeah.
which would be super cool.
previously on Jonny Quest.
That would be awesome.
Johnny dies. The end.
Oh man, you're killing
I'm
kids
sorry.
now.
Yeah. Wait, I think I do remember watching the 3D version.
The
3D
dirty version. is what you said?
3D,
Oh,
like the
okay.
3D animated version. I know you'd asked me. Yeah, there's a dirty version. Johnny.
I'm sure there is. Was it Rule 49 on the internet? Like, if it exists, there's a porn parody of it.
Yeah.
But no, this was a genre that I had never heard of before that I saw in researching for this, and I really liked the ring of it. Jonny Quest was described as spy-fi.
Oh.
Spy-fi. I really like
Spy-fi.
that. And that kind of feeds into two main sources of inspiration for the Jonny Quest show. So remember, the show came out in September of 1964. So development would have probably been 1963, maybe even as late back as 1962. So in the sci part of the sci-spy, Wildly used magazines like Popular Science, Popular Mechanics, and Science Digest to capture a feel of like what's a plane going to look like in 20 years from now or something. And that's like what Dr. Quest will be working on. All the technology in Jonny Quest looks very like 60s futuristic, like what people in the 60s would have thought, future technology would be. And then the spy aspect of sci-spy comes from a little movie called Dr. No, which came out in 1962, which was the first. It's impossible to talk about Jonny Quest without talking about James Bond.
We've hit the James Bond counter for 1003.
Yes. In fact, the guy who did the set designs for most of the Bond movies, and especially Dr. No, was this guy named Ken Adams. And you can see Ken Adams' inspiration all over Jonny Quest if you know what to look for. So that's your two parts, right? Your sci-spy is, popular mechanics, James Bond, which, 1962, it made a hell of money. And 1964 is when Goldfinger came out. So we're right about to hit that Bond mania.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Have you ever heard someone say the 3 Bs of the 60s?
The Beatles, Batman, and Bond.
We talked about this before. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, that's it. Culturally is just seismic. Here's some interesting notes as far as the voices for the Jonny Quest cast. The title character, Jonny Quest, is voiced by Tim Matheson. He is Otter in Animal House. You ever seen Animal House?
Yeah.
You know who Otter is? Yeah. I can, equating those two characters in my head is hilarious.
Yeah.
And really surprising.
I don't think Johnny. This is like if Animal House was like Venture Boys or Venture.
Sure, yeah,
Venture
but I
Boys.
can't see the guy that's Otter in Animal House being like, "Oh boy, Dad, can we come? Like, please, it'll be fun." I just can't see it. Rayce Benton is the same voice actor as the '70s Reed Richards cartoon. So that's kind of interesting to me. His name is Mike Road. And this was the most surprising one. Are you ready to have your world rocked?
Yeah.
Mike's super ready.
Super ready.
The voice of Dr. Quest, and one Don Messick, is the voice of Scooby-Doo in all of the...
Reggie?
Right? No, dude. Listen to this, and you'll hear Dr. Quest talk, and then you can just, kind of imagine if he, held his R's a little longer. It's totally
Scooby
there.
snack.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really my intro into the series in general.
I'm so sorry
Yeah,
for that.
You
I'm
make
so
this
sorry.
so easy, Mike. Thank you. One week you need to do these. So for the Max Fleischer Superman show, we would give you current events, right? That were going on in the month that those premiered. Jonny Quest, obviously, was a faster production schedule, so I'm going weekly now.
Okay.
So the week of September 18th, 1964, okay, is the dates I'm about to give you.
Okay.
So during that week, all right, so JFK was assassinated in 1963, right? So LBJ is president. Vietnam officially is a year away as far as boots on the ground soldiers.
Okay.
We're not quite there yet. The Gulf of Tonkin incident, which is what would send us into Vietnam as far as physical troops, was the month before Jonny Quest premiered. So that area of the world is heating up, right? These I just think are interesting to hear what other shows were premiering at the same time. The day before, so on a Thursday, on the same network, ABC, Bewitched premiered. So we're in that time frame. 2 days after Jonny Quest premiered, Goldfinger premieres in London.
Oh, wow.
So again, it could not have timed better that it was hitting Bond spy mania that was about to happen. There you go. The Warren Commission, which of course was the investigating body to look into the assassination of JFK, held its last meeting the week of the premiere Jonny Quest. And a Trisha Yearwood was born that same week. Country music. That's the most noticeable birth I could find in this week. So there you go, Trisha.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. So now, as far as where to watch along Jonny Quest with us, I'm sure you can find it online somewhere if you look hard enough.
It's not
just
on the
like
DC
anything.
streaming app.
It's not on the DC streaming app. Ooh, side note, did you see that they announced that in April the entire DC Digital Comics library is going to be on it?
Are you serious?
Everything.
Oh wow.
Everything. That was buried in an article about Swamp Thing premiering at the end of May. And I was like, dude, that should be the headline.
Yeah.
Like, all decent
But everyone
comics.
likes.
Swamp Thing's going to be great. Yeah, listen, I'm a huge Swamp Thing fan. I know there are places online where you can watch Jonny Quest. I also know that it's available on the Boomerang app.
Okay,
So
cool.
if you do have kids, or if you're just really into classic
Cartoon
cartoons,
Network.
which you might be since you're listening to a podcast called Classic Cartoon Rewind, I think that's like $7 a month or something like
Yeah,
that. And a
Cartoon
first
Network
month
affiliate.
is free, I want to
Right,
say.
Turner Broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this now, if you're listening to this months from now, and we've already recorded all of our Jonny Quest episodes, I would get the free month of Boomerang and binge all of Classic Cartoon Rewind's Jonny Quest ones there. So hello, future people.
Hello, future.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for that.
Future dwarf.
So now what we did, though, I just went on Amazon. I bought a DVD of the entire, they call the first series season 1. I just bought, and it's 26 episodes, I want to say. Bought a DVD of it. It's like $18. Yeah, so nothing big. So I'll give you time to get queued up with us. We have got the Aborigines on pause here. So while you're getting your Jonny Quest queued up with us. By the way, I forgot to mention the name of the episode. First episode is The Mystery of the Lizard Men. I want to say.
Nice.
Yeah, or Night of Lizard Men.
Is Spider-Man
something
going to
like
make
that.
an appearance?
Yes. No.
Sorry.
Okay, so while you are getting Jonny Quest queued up and paused with us so you can synchronize our conversation, here is a quick message from our Patreon. All of Grassroots Comics is funded through our Patreon, patreon.com/grassrootscomics. For as little as $1 a month, you can become part of the Grassroots Comics community, which includes many perks, such as having your name mentioned in this segment of every episode of the podcast, the ability to suggest topics of discussion for shows like These Guys Have Issues, access to the private Grassroots Comics subreddit where members can continue discussions started on the podcast or start their own, behind-the-scenes access to the GRC studio, and early access to digitally released comics and Classic Cartoon Rewind. So it is the goal of all of us here at Grassroots Comics Productions that one day the Patreon is strong enough where we are able to produce the stories, artwork, and stop-motion animation shorts pitched and selected by the Grassroots Comics community. But the only way that becomes possible is with a strong Patreon. So if you feel that the entertainment value you receive from this podcast is at least worth 25 cents, then please become a Patreon contributor today, and with our powers combined, we can have all of our stories heard. All right, now let's get on with the rest of the show. Okay, and we're back. Hope you synchronize your spy watches
There
here.
you go,
There
baby.
we go. Okay, right.
Thank you.
We're all in sync, and just a quick another message about our Patreon. We're starting something called back issue bundles. If you are a Patreon contributor, every month we raffle off a back issue bundle of 4 comics from yesteryear that are themed to match whatever is kind of going on that month. So this month of April 2019, it is Shazam and Avengers themed. So I'm going to be putting out a video with that soon onto our Facebook page. You have until the end of the month to become a Patreon member and have your name included in the raffle. And I would try to get in on these early ones if I was interested in that. Because, of course, the less amount of people that are Patreon members, the more likely your chances are to win the bundle here.
Yeah, because you want to get on it now. It's like buying stock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're going to be big later.
There you go. I like it. Okay, so I hope that was enough time for you to get Jonny Quest pulled up with us. Mike, you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready?
My
Okay.
watch is synchronized.
Okay.
I'm ready.
We're not going to do that?
No, we're not.
Okay. Okay. And I am hitting play in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Hanna-Barbera, correct? Yeah, we talked about that.
I'm glad you were paying attention.
Yeah,
during
no, I
my,
was paying attention. I just
very
couldn't remember.
researched
No,
intro.
Like it's just like you know what Hanna-Barbera's animation looks like.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
fair.
like as soon as it pops up, you know
Right.
exactly what it is.
And I mean, these look like comics of the time.
Yeah.
See, that scene specifically, that's from the, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy,
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
that
yeah.
was going to be. So whenever you see scenes that you're like, that's weird, I don't remember ever seeing that in any of the episodes. It's going to be the original radio drama that it was based off of. Mike, you, me, and Huey were kind of talking about this intro before we started the podcast here. In my personal opinion, this intro, especially the beginning, like, dude, that is fucking metal. Like, that is just intense. Like, especially, imagine you're a kid in 1964.
Oh, you'd be hell high.
Just got your color TV.
Oh
right?
my gosh!
You
kidding
turn
me?
it
I
on
would be
Friday prime time to
ridiculously
ABC,
So excited.
and look at how colorful it is. Like they're all wearing different colored shirts, and you just get punched in the face with this. Like, just it's a. I wish we could rewind it just to go back. There, what the intro is like a tank, a giant eye robot with legs.
Yeah, and then like
There's like a fucking pterodactyl.
and lizard people.
It just.
It's like, whoa, what is this? I'm so interested now.
It's metal as shit, dude. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's pretty easy to hear that is Dr. Quest's voice as well. Once you start getting familiar with them, they really reuse the same voice cast.
Oh,
Now, as you can see, the
that's a strong red beam right there.
it is. The animation is a little cheaper than what we had with Max Fleischer.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's
It looks great.
yeah.
It is not as fluid as the Fleischer movies.
But I feel like Hanna-Barbera was like always like that.
Yes.
Like, he was never very into fluid
They.
details.
It's two people.
Well, okay, he was.
Well,
They. Two people.
you said he.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
They. Did I say he?
Yeah.
Don't call me on that stuff. Just kidding.
Too
Call me
late.
out. Twitterverse. All of our fans out there
Right.
call me out on everything that I say stupid.
So Hanna-Barbera would do this thing where they would only animate whatever part of the scene
Was moving.
is moving,
Oh.
and you can really see it. Especially like Scooby-Doo to me is the biggest culprit, where like Scooby's mouth would be moving, and you can clearly see that or
Yeah.
their legs
Yeah.
are the only thing being animated.
Kind of like in Dragon Ball Z. Well, you know exactly which rock is about to explode.
Oh,
it's
right, 'cause
shaded
it looks different.
It looks
yeah.
different.
Yeah, you're gonna have the same thing, same kind of thing. So yeah, we had these scuba diving
Lizard people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously they're lizard men, right?
Swamp
It's
people.
the only logical
Swamp thing.
explanation.
Creature
Yeah, they're
from
kind of
the
taking
Black
over
Lagoon.
a boat. Boat exploded. Did they steal anything from it? Did you see that?
I thought the boat just exploded.
Right.
Yeah, the animation is kind of a.
Right, like you can tell that the guy on the boat is one solid animation piece against
Of
the
moving.
back of the ocean.
Yeah.
And I mean, it works for what it is. In some aspects, and this is gonna be kind of weird to say, but in some ways, the stiffness of the animation makes the show feel more like a comic book to me.
Yeah.
And
I
that,
get what you're
like,
saying.
that's a panel.
Yeah. Just
And-
put a bubble. Just put a bubble next to it.
100%.
Yeah.
This is the next panel.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of see that as it goes on. Like it's very clear that they were looking to emulate the experience of a comic book through
Definitely.
the show.
It's so funny now that I'm watching this as a comic. Like,
Right. That changes the way you look at it,
yeah,
right?
it does.
That's a Bond reference, and that they have a number. 007.
037?
Yeah, is Quest.
Well, I see what they did. They just took a number and changed it.
They gave you a number and they took away your name. Secret Agent Man.
Secret Agent Man. We make a good team.
We could have kept going. Yeah. Did I tell you that I guess I'm finally getting Bond through to my 8-year-old to the point like he'll do something cool. He'll be like, Carter, watch this shot. It cracks me up.
He doesn't say Kobe.
No, he does the beginning of the Bond theme, and it's awesome. No.
No.
No,
Don't send your
young
11-year-old boy over there.
You can't go explore
this.
No.
You know, I was got to allude to this because I remember when I was watching this as a kid that there was little moments in there that were teaching and learning opportunities for the kids that were watching
it's
it.
scientific.
Yeah.
Dan.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, this is a big trope that the series will keep doing. That like bandits like aware of the danger first.
Spider sense?
Doggy sense.
Doggy sense?
Let's do this one. Wait, you still haven't seen Spider-Verse at all yet, right?
No.
Oh god damn it!
What was Blue's
About to
Clues
make a
thing?
Spider-Verse. I do love Bandit. As a kid, Bandit was maybe my favorite character. It's the dog, of course.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love dogs?
All right. Communists. Straight out of Bond, right? Like this feels like a Bond layer.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's getting you?
Man and boy.
I love the villain voices on these shows. I wonder what those.
What do you want?
I wonder what those people would sound like in real life.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have a ham on rye, please. Hold the mayonnaise.
Wait, I know that voice. You're
Alan Rickman? And one frustrating thing to me, I think we talked about a little bit in the Superman show, where sometimes Superman's face would just look a little different than it usually does. Off model is what it's called in like an animation term. I think Johnny gets really off model, especially like as the episodes go later to me. I've only been through the entire series once.
Okay.
As far as like sitting down and being like, I'm gonna watch all of Jonny Quest.
Yeah.
And that's actually while we were nursing my son Jameson, and he was like a little baby. Because his feedings would take about 20 minutes for him to chug down a little bottle.
Yeah.
Guess what's about 20 minutes long?
Jonny Quest.
Jonny Quest episode. It did not take me long to watch. Oh, dude, during that I watched like all of Jonny Quest, all of Superman the animated series.
Wow.
The Ruby Spears Superman show from the 80s. I think that was actually the time where I was texting you being like, hey, I've got this idea for a podcast where we talk about classic cartoons. And yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's before you moved back to Birmingham, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool, man. You know, it's so funny, like, Jonny Quest's hair and Johnny Bravo's hair is, like, the same.
Yes.
Except they just go in different directions.
Yeah. It's kind of hard. You know, I guess Johnny Bravo is really just, like, smashing together Jonny Quest and Elvis.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, same style, too. A black shirt, jeans. It's actually Jonny Quest when he was older.
Did I ever tell you that, like...
Johnny Bravo.
Right.
Oh. Jonny Quest got some moves to him.
Jiu-jitsu. He, like, uses their body weight and movement against them, right?
Yeah.
Huey, our
Huey
producer,
likes
is nodding his head there. And that's feasible that Race would have taught him some things of how to defend himself.
Imagine this being a live-action movie or a live-action TV show.
Spoiler, once we are done with the show, that is going to be one of our These Guys Have Issues topics, is how we would cast and how we would do a Jonny Quest live-action movie. Because I have thoughts.
You have thoughts.
I have lots of thoughts. Bandit doing
Oh,
his part.
gosh.
Wow, that was quite.
Yeah, I mean,
a
that person's
bite.
dead. Oh, snatched.
Now, have you noticed any main character that we haven't seen yet in this episode?
Haji.
Haji is not in the first episode.
Huh.
Yeah.
I have developed the laser gun. Wait, did you turn on the lights?
Yes. At first, I thought it was my Xbox.
No, they legit turned out the lights. Oh no, that was
wait,
your Xbox.
It is my Xbox. All right.
A very clever young man.
Okay. So we are
Yeet.
messing
Oh,
with
gosh.
we're messing with the space race.
Race just like destroyed him, like
So
headbutt.
I don't think they covered this in the first one. Maybe it's the second one that they cover it, but Race is sent by the US government. Like I think he works for the CIA or something like that. Basically that Dr. Quest is too important of a he's the next like Oppenheimer or something, right? Like he's too important to scientific advancements for the US government to not be protected, and that's why organizations like I think the bad guys are called Fear in this. You know what I'm talking about? The acronym. Maybe they're in Birdman too. I might be getting it confused with you know what Future Quest is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Future Quest was a comic series DC put out where it's a shared universe between all the Hanna-Barbera action cartoons, which is just a great idea.
Yeah.
But I know those guys are in there, so sometimes I get the who's villain. I get
Yeah,
the,
no, I get that.
My dog would be so worthless in that situation.
No, my dog would run straight to me. Now, it would not run straight back to that person.
Right.
Unless it was Steph. If Steph was on the other end, he'd be running back and forth to us. But he would never take the key out of my hand unless it was a treat.
What kind of dog do you have?
Dachshund.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we talked about this. Okay. Yeah, boy.
And there's two henchmen behind them. Oh, wait, no.
That did seem like the time where there would be a reveal for that.
There'll be a reveal like once they get up.
Your efforts to escape are futile, Race.
I have you now.
That voice is really fun. It's what I do best.
That's literally what he just said.
Yeah. Don't worry, I speak dog.
I speak all languages of dog.
You gonna react, Frogman?
Is he dead?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
How strong Race is right punches.
I'm sure Race would know how to put people to sleep. Yeah. Again, trained, CIA. Yeah.
Sleeper hold.
There you go.
Everybody goes night night. Oh.
Judo chop.
Yeah.
Sleep lizards.
Oh,
So,
chokehold. Race. Look at Johnny run. He says no.
Ah, this theme song.
Yeet. Get him, Bandit. Oh, does he bite his butt? Oh, I thought he was going to bite his butt. No. Oh.
So
Throw the anchor. Throw that 100 or the 200-pound anchor.
Oh. He could probably lift it enough just to push it over like he's about to. There we go.
Probably would have killed Race.
Yeah, that might be fair. So what? These bad guys are planning on using that laser to blast down a spaceship, right? It's
Yeah.
part of the okay. That was also a big Bond trope. Was actually, dude, that's the fucking straight plot from Dr. No. Is Dr. No is using things like radio waves and radiation stuff to mess with Cape Canaveral launches from the U.S.
Oh.
So literally, the movie that
You watch some more Bond
inspired
movies.
Oh, we can make that happen.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But yeah, literally the movie that inspired the series, they just kind of straight
They
lifted
ripped it off.
They
They ripped it off. That's what they did.
yeah,
They put a little boy with
creative
it.
licensing.
They put a little boy to it.
Inspired by.
Yeet. Hold that. Classic line.
Yeah.
Slapstick. Oh, pulling the goggles. Of course.
Yeah. You gotta sneak those in. Oh, there's your animation scene for like
I told you.
something shaded weird here. What's the one thing that's gonna move? Hence, it's not the water.
I'm telling you, man. Anime does that like big time.
Oh, really?
You just know what's going to be destroyed or what's going to move because it's shaded differently. What kind of gun is that? Can't be very accurate. With a barrel that size?
Yeah, that's fair.
Bandit. Dog dies in the first episode.
How
It's like freaking
awful
like
would that be?
John Wick. Spoiler
And
alert.
that's Jonny Quest grows up to become
John Wick. You kill his
I
dog.
like
he
that.
F's up your
I
life.
like that fan theory.
He dyed his hair.
That head cannon, yeah. Well, he gets all depressed after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something has to happen to him for him to become a hitman, anyways.
That's when he kills his dad.
Now, Quest would be an interesting dude once he grew up. Johnny would.
Oh yeah, he would almost be like Indiana Jones.
He really would be. This series is such a. Johnny Quest is a vortex of pop culture, and that like so many
See, that's
things
why I feel
have
like it
come
could be-
into it and out of it.
It could be very meta now.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing could be pop culture references.
Mm-hmm. And man, in 1964, that boat had to look just like cutting edge.
Oh yeah, looks like a spaceship on water. Or a rocket
It
on
reminds me
water.
of the Bat boat from the '66 movie.
Bat spray.
No, that's the Bat
Shark spray?
helicopter that has the shark repellent bat spray.
Shark repellent bat,
Bat spray.
Uh-oh. Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious style.
Because everyone knows that the best time for learning life lessons is under intense life-threatening danger. It's a Spider-Verse line for you.
yeah,
We'll get you there.
yeah.
We'll get you there.
He's playing chicken?
Ah, okay.
Oh, so he's like kamikazing it right now? He's putting Dr. Quest's son in his...
Ooh.
And they're dead. Oh, they shot the beam right as I did that. What a perfect timing.
Nice.
Oh, the moss and the algae
Okay.
is burning up. Oh, wait. What?
Sweet.
What? Is this Speed Racer now? Do we just watch Speed Racer?
Oh, I wonder what year that was.
It had to be around the same...
Yeah.
Well, no, I think
No,
Speed Racer
no.
was a
It's
little
gotta be
bit...
around this. Because my stepdad is a huge Jonny Quest fan, and that's what he watched as a kid, and he's a big Speed Racer fan too. So I would imagine they're both '60s cartoons. Don't you just love?
I feel like that noise is in like a ton of
I'm sure.
early...
Usually, production studios like this have
Like the Wilhelm scream.
You just earn so many points by knowing what that is.
Dude, of course. Are you kidding me?
Well, you didn't know what a MacGuffin was, and
I mean,
one, but
you're like... Your knowledge and stuff like that of movies is
have you ever
way
seen those
beyond-
bars called MacGuffins that are outside of movie theaters? Yeah. Well,
No.
yeah, no, the studios would have a lot of like stock sounds like that,
Yeah.
you know?
See, that's the same...
Yeah, it was. So again, that's another kind of like Scooby-Doo thing they would do later, right?
Yeah.
That like...
It was Mr. Jameson all the time.
It was the caretaker the whole time. But yeah, they're trying to frighten off people with superstitious, you know, stuff. Because criminals are a cowardly and superstitious lot.
Look at this. Bandit is surfing.
And we jumped the shark in the first episode. That's the Jack Armstrong or whatever, the like hovercraft thing in the desert. Like these scenes are not anywhere in the series.
Yeet. Straight from the first episode, yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of this from the first one. There's like one where you see Race like swinging on like a jungle vine on the boat. Yeah. So while the credits are playing here, thoughts on the first episode of Jonny Quest?
Yeah, man, it was pretty decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Animation's not that good, but I mean,
It's like I said, it looks great. Like the single like individual pictures of it. The fluidity isn't there.
I always thought Jonny Quest was Asian with blonde hair. You know, because he's got the black eyebrows and stuff like that.
Oh.
I don't know. So.
Okay. So. Yeah, the second one we are covering.
The Curse of Anubis.
Oh, that's one of my favorites, but that's going to be next week. The second one is Arctic Splashdown.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm
Curse
dyslexic.
of Anubis is
Nobody knew
one
that.
of my. That's one of my favorite episodes. So, do you remember any episodes? Like, does any,
I'm pretty sure I remember Curse of Anubis.
Okay. And they show it in the opening theme where you see the mummy walking through. That's from Curse of Anubis.
You know, when we start watching this, I'm sure I'll start remembering things.
Absolutely.
Kind of like what we did with the Max Fleischer, because I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember this part.
Yeah.
And whatnot, so.
Just looked it up. Speed Racers from 1968.
Okay, so
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Current events for Arctic Splashdown. So this is the week of September 25th, 1964. I'm going to give you... These cracked me up. There are a lot of shows premiered this week. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. premiered on NBC, kind of cashing in on the current spy craze. The Munsters premiered on ABC, which were, spoofing the monster movies, which were very big at this time, too, especially in the 50s.
Yeah, that's when you had, like, the Nosferatu, Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Well, those are more like 30s. This is going to be, like, Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah, some later stuff.
Okay, not bad.
30s and 40s were the, like, original Frankenstein and probably Werewolf Man and all that good stuff.
Bride of Frankenstein?
Bride of Frankenstein would be
Son of
later.
Frankenstein.
I don't know the order. Do you?
I really don't. But weren't they trying to revamp that with like Tom Cruise's Mummy?
Oh yeah, and it was Russell Crowe or something.
Yeah,
I like that idea. I just think they executed it horribly.
poorly, of course.
Because I've
They
had
didn't have
an idea
Brendan
for
Fraser
a while
be
of trying to like
the person that hunts down the mummy.
of trying to get the because I do think that there is good IP there, right? For like your Wolfman, vampire, Frankenstein, all that kind of stuff crossing over. I was working on something a while that like reimagined that, but like in space. That's hard to do.
In space.
Okay, other things that happened the week of September 25th, 1964. Fiddler on the Roof premiered in Broadway. Yeah, I did not realize that was around this time. The Warren Commission presented President LBJ with a 888-page summary of its investigation into the assassination of JFK. I thought this was kind of timely in that the Mueller report is kind of coming out now, and that today it's similar in a way in that it's like a independent investigating committee, except the Warren Commission was like an equal amount of Republicans and Democrats, I would say, whereas the Mueller report is the FBI. But it's interesting to me that Mueller report happened a couple weeks ago or a week and a half ago by this point, as far as like it being done, and we've got the 4-page summary from Barr. This just feels similar to me, but they put it out way faster. Like as far as LBJ is shown the Warren Commission report, and then days later gives an address and the full thing is released to the public. If you didn't know, the Warren Commission concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald was a lone wolf, that he acted alone in shooting JFK. And, of course, that was almost instantly into the territory of conspiracy theories, right? Where people didn't believe it.
I mean, I don't believe it.
And this is kind of a larger... No, I don't believe it either. And this is kind of a larger question. To me, the assassination of JFK is when, America lost its, innocence.
I don't think so. I think America lost its innocence when they dropped the nuclear bomb in Japan.
Well, I mean, if you want to... By innocence, I mean in that, we thought of ourselves and stuff as, the good guys and stuff before that, whether right or wrong, because I think we're kind of... in history, we're the bad guys in a lot of situations, I feel like. But the death of Kennedy, with being such a young and, hopeful president, always, literally reaching for the stars, to me, that's just, it's... I don't think the country is ever the same after it. There's a distrust of the government that I don't think is there before the assassination of JFK, at least not in the same way, and is only highlighted by Vietnam, which of course is quickly approaching, as we were discovering. Any thoughts on that before I move on a little bit?
I never thought about it like that.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
That's,
I think maybe, in a sense, it's when not necessarily America lost its innocence, but when they first felt vulnerable.
Yeah. Their idealism, or
because no one really believed that the Japanese that were living in the United States were going to do anything to harm them.
As far as our I think they.
They put them in internment
camps. They were loyal to Japan instead of.
But they had a ton of people that were in those internment camps go and fight in Japan against the Japanese.
Sure.
I think we were up to a point now where we're getting Red Scare again. There's so much propaganda that the government is controlling, kind of pulling onto your distrust aspect. Russia's doing this, we're doing this, Russia's doing this.
Yeah.
Hate the commies, hate the commies, hate the commies.
Yep.
And then you're like, well, do we really need to hate them? And then you're doing this, and they're doing this, and if we didn't do this, they wouldn't do that. So why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And it, like you said, it boils over with Vietnam.
With Vietnam, sure, which is just a proxy war essentially with the Russians. This I thought was interesting in that immediately after the Warren Commission reaches their conclusion, that there was people who were buying it, even in high levels of government, like this retired Army general named Edwin A. Walker, who, this was funny, or not funny, but just interesting. He was shot at by Oswald several months before Kennedy's death. He was one of the first people to openly criticize the Warren Commission, and he stated that from the beginning the Warren Commission had the full intent to show that Oswald was a Lone Ranger. It just kind of does this not remind you at all of the Mueller Barr stuff that
not necessarily,
really?
Just because the Mueller report's not going after an assassination. It's just going after bits and pieces of stuff that people have said.
No, but who benefits the most from Kennedy being gone? LBJ maybe, right? Because he gets to be president now. Which again, my stepdad, that's his main. Whenever we talk about JFK conspiracy theories, he's like, oh yeah, LBJ killed him. I don't know if I buy into that.
Mine is the mafia.
Mine's the mafia as well, yeah. What's that guy's name? Costello or something that was out of Louisiana? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was a really, really interesting guy. And this is just an imagery thing that, as a writer, this sounds interesting to me. That when the mob would, whack somebody in New Orleans, they would load the body up in a truck and go and take it to the swamps and feed it to the alligators and stuff. That's just neither here nor there, but it's interesting. Okay, and then a noticeable birth from this week. It's just dragging the bottom of the barrel.
Another country singer?
They're not quite as big as Trisha Yearwood. Okay. This is Stephen Jenkins was born. He is the main singer, guitarist, and songwriter for Third Eye Blind. Yeah.
There we go.
Sure. Whatever. Stephen Jenkins. Welcome to the world.
Dang.
I know, right? You wouldn't really think about it, but
Third Eye Blind was like big in the 90s.
Yeah, they were. So he'd be in his 30s. 64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that does sound
actually.
about right.
Right.
Now that I think about it.
Right.
I just think of the 60s as like so far away. And then like World War II was like so far away.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
60s, I don't know. I like a lot of things from the 60s. Like, it almost to the point where it feels like
You
that's
should've
like
lived
my,
there,
that's like my era. I always tell my dad, who was born in 1950, that was like the perfect year to be born. Because, like, to be 18 in 1968, that sounds awesome. Okay. All right, so hopefully you're watching along with us for Arctic Splashdown. We have the Aborigines on pause. I have no better way of saying that.
I mean, they are.
Right.
Either that or
Right.
the indigenous people.
There we go.
You could say
Yep.
that.
So,
Not Columbus Day anymore, kids.
Right, there we go. Okay, I hope you're watching along with us. I'm hitting play in 3, 2, 1, go. So again, just try to think of like how much awesome shit this intro packs into a minute and a half. Machine guns, pterodactyl, giant robot eye, lizard,
Tank.
like
A mummy. Out of nowhere. Hydra. Hydra in space.
dude, your mind would be exploding as a kid in '64.
Dude, snakes?
Right. That just
Lizard
it's-
snakes?
It's never gonna
Giant
get
lizards?
old of me.
Guys springing from rope. Tarzan. Laser beams.
Lasers.
And one guy looking mischievously over his shoulder.
And then Ginger with a beard.
Boom.
A ginger beard.
explosions.
Somewhere, young Michael Bay is going, hey,
I know where this is going.
there's something onto that.
Johnny Bravo.
Dude, I'm working on this.
Dr. Fitton Quest is Omnis.
I'm working on writing this comic right now. That's kind of based around. It follows Elvis impersonators. Not to gonna give too much away, but trying to find the voice for the main Elvis impersonator that it follows was difficult in writing it and being like, oh no, that sounds too like Johnny Bravo. Like it's too many hey mamas. Like,
Whoa.
hey mama.
Hey, mama.
Bam, bam, bam. Gotta love that. Classic.
That's a remake, a reuse soundbite.
Oh, totally. I wonder. I'm sure it didn't originate here. It's got to be older.
That'd be
than that.
crazy if it
Right,
did.
to fun. It would be crazy. Yes. It's like I wonder where the Wilhelm scream originated.
Kaiser Wilhelm, when he died.
Just gave Mike a like
Swing and a
are you
miss."
serious look.
Oh, I get it why they call it Arctic Splashdown, because this rocket
Oh, there we go.
splashes down.
Right. I wonder where.
Arctic.
Oh, that's a good call. Arctic. That makes sense.
Look at this bear.
You can tell which part's going to be animated, right? Because
The
from the
bear?
neck up is a different shade than the rest of the body. Again,
Is it the
we've got
Soviets?
bad. I was going to say we got bad guys in the submarine again. They were in
The Hunt for Red October.
So I actually did rewatch this one before the podcast today, and I don't think they're Soviets. I want you to try to guess who these guys are.
Set your paws and proceed at full speed.
I mean, yeah, it is just generic foreign bad guy
Yeah.
voice again. I think this cartoon, I've heard it said before that even animation like this is more like stop motion animation than anything else.
I can see that.
I'm big into stop motion animation, and this is basically like kind of how they made the original South Park cartoons. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
Where it's like the construction paper cutouts just against a board. And, parts need to move, and that's
Oh,
it.
Haji.
Yep.
Nice.
First appearance. With no explanation. They do give more like insight into Haji's background and stuff.
Colonialism. He's actually Jonny Quest's slave.
Wow. Not quite. No, not quite. One thing that is interesting to me about the Johnny Haji dynamic compared to the Dr. Quest and Race Bandon dynamic, and kind of watch for this some in the episode. Johnny is closer and more similar to Race, where Haji is closer and more similar to Dr. Quest.
Surrogate dad?
They very much kind of like pair off every now and then. Haji's really interested into the sciencey, technical stuff, and Johnny's more like, I want to drive that boat. Right, he's more the man of action kind of guy.
Man of Steel? Superman. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was necessary.
It
All right,
was.
cool. What would we do without Jumanji? without those. Oh, man.
This jet's, very futuristic for the 1960s.
Yeah. Always got to keep that in context.
Is this where the Titanic gets sunk? You be like that when he laughs.
Don't encourage him, Huey.
So,
Banged it on
are those
skis,
people
that
in
poor
the
dog.
sub supposed to be Germans?
That's what I'm betting. Actually, I think they're Nazis.
Are they Hydra?
No, I think they're Nazis. The hat that guy has the eagle.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a very like
Huh.
it was a big Nazi symbol, Third Reich. Okay, I guess we might as well go ahead and get this conversation out of the way.
Please,
Because it's just
'cause I
bound to
noticed-
happen at some point. Is Haji inherently a racist character? Or is it just stereotypical?
But I feel like that has to play in the fact that it is racist a little bit.
Remember, we talked about the difference between...
I know, but you got to remember at this time, this connotation of Haji, like in this era, means that colonialism is more superior, or the British are more superior than
the West.
the West.
Yeah, that's more... Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it that way in the series as a whole. I think there are some instances where it goes stereotypical, and that like sometimes you'll see Haji will do like hypnotism stuff or like things that might be magic or
Just like the dog
cheap
biscuit trick.
parlor tricks. Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, they're parlor tricks because spoiler, there's an episode that reveals that Haji was like a street urchin before Dr. Quest. Before they
Oh,
found
he was a street
him.
urchin from India.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who had
Stereotypical.
potential.
And
And this white man rescued, yes.
yes, so
We can't act like that has never
I
happened.
know. I'm just
right?
saying, but I'm just saying, like especially the fact that it follows colonialism too.
It does. It does. I think really though, if you just like remove the turban, that.
And change his name from not Haji.
But see, that's the snake eating the tail. Like Haji can be a like racial slur, but only because of this show. It wasn't before this.
I don't think you could say to someone who went to go fight in Afghanistan and Iraq this time around, like during the Bush era, that they probably didn't know what Jonny Quest was, and so that typically just called him Hajis from the hijab, I would think.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
maybe that
Okay.
more than anything.
Sure.
But the fact now that it is a term for a derogatory term,
Right. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm being
at this
naive
time,
here. Right.
probably not. Though.
No, see, I think here's the key to me of if you did this today. I think if you make race literally a different race other than white, then you have a father and son who are the same race, and then other than that, it's a very racially diverse group at that point. That's one way I would go with it once we get to the podcast about how to do a
But
Jonny Quest movie.
what we're talking about, like watching it now, where our views are
Sure,
different.
it doesn't. Parts are a little awkward. Huey, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, we're not even. Oh, yeah, we're past the civil rights movement, right? Or we're in the midst of. We're in the midst of.
Smack in the
We're in the
middle
midst of it
yeah.
right now.
Is Haji an inherently racist character, or does he play more stereotypes rather than like racism? Because I don't see like he's smart, he's capable. Like I don't see like these like negative qualities
I think it just
ascribed.
dives into it at times, you know.
Yes.
The Sim Solid Bin, that came from this, right?
Yeah, it did.
See,
It did.
That's the thing.
I would agree.
Sim Solid
Right.
Bin, and then he goes into trying to do the politics.
Yes.
That's when you dive into it being kind of stereotypical, but I think it was just kind of an
I kind
attempt
of like
to be diverse in this sense.
take a character like Gambit. You know, Gambit is known for his card tricks and stuff because he grew up on the streets of New Orleans.
He's an American, though.
But see, like, you can't act like there's not poverty
Oh, yeah,
in
you're totally
right in India, and that like there's not a street urchin somewhere in India
Yeah, but-
learning
but-
sleight of hand
The fact that
to make money and get by. Dude, in New Orleans, when we were living there, it can be the middle of a day on a school week, and you'll see kids on the corner with the crushed soda cans taped
Tap
underneath
dancing.
their shoes,
Yeah.
and they're tap dancing with a bucket out for money.
Yeah.
Like that is an American Haji. Am I wrong?
And with these things, we talk about
But-
things being of its time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think, like I said, I think it was just an attempt at trying to be a lot more diverse.
Yeah.
Just by adding this character. You
Right.
said earlier, if you were to make race a different color,
Mm-hmm.
already been diverse.
Yeah.
You can't just change that.
Right, you have 50% at that point, and really, if you consider Dr. Quest and Johnny as kind of like part of the same part, which to me you really should, because like a father and son are mostly going to be the same race as the other one, unless adoption or something like that. But then there's a third. It's only a third of the main cast is actually
Right.
white. It would be 2/3 that would be of color at that point.
My thing about IG is things over time are now going to be seen as racist, and it's not going to be as tolerated over time.
But you gotta
Right.
think about like this
It's
time
stereotypical
when this
for
came
sure.
out.
Yes.
I mean, we still have.
That's to me all it is
But now,
stereotypes
if you look at it,
that-
it is racist now. People will look at it as racist. Some
Yeah.
people it is stereotypical, but at
Yeah.
the time, it was stereotypical. You know, like, it was just like...
all those Brits and their colonialism.
So let me ask you this:
I mean,
to me, there needs to be for it to be racist and not stereotypical. There needs to be like a negative intent,
Yeah, of course.
right? I don't think there's a negative intent with this.
I think there was just color blindness.
Yes.
And then that is also dangerous.
Ignorance. Yeah.
Just, that is very dangerous.
did Bandit die here?
No, but again, this is a trope that Bandit discovers the trouble or something before the rest of the crew usually does.
Yeah, no, but that's scary. You pick up a bomb in his mouth.
Well, I can hold your hand through it if you need me to.
Did Bandit die?
It can be a big
spoiler.
Dude, I actually I remember in the first episode of the Real Adventures of Jonny Quest, like it ends in kind of a cliffhanger. It looks like Johnny fell off this like cliff and died. And I lost it as a kid. Like that might have been like the first time I was like, he's dead. Like he's not coming back. And my mom was like, Carter, it's the first episode. His name is in the title of the show.
He's gonna come back.
He's gonna be alright.
Didn't the Real Adventures do the previously on Jonny Quest?
I think so. Yeah, I haven't seen those in a really, really long
That's how I
time.
remember that basically,
Yeah, the Tron Quest World.
which was really amazing.
Yeah, I bet you it doesn't look so amazing now. That's like that show Reboot. You ever watch that? I love reboots,
But it's
and
terrible.
for its time, it's like just it shatters whatever like
Yeah.
preconceived
Well,
notions there are
it
about
was
what a
just-
3D show could be,
it was-
a computer animation show.
It was like the most revolutionary show
Yeah.
at that time, but now when they did the reboot,
It-
it's awful.
Oh wait, the Netflix thing that has like the live action cast too. It's so bad. I couldn't get through the first episode.
Wait, they made a reboot of Reboot?
Yeah, it's really bad. That's not worth your Netflix subscription money. Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Did,
Not a Curb Your Enthusiasm guy?
Yeah.
No?
No, I just
No.
was trying to remember where that was from.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they...
Oh, there's a... Race has a cold line here in a second. That wouldn't play well in 2019. I can tell you that.
You want to shoot a walrus?
Right. PETA would, and legitimately so, would be up in arms with that. Honestly, Johnny reminds me a lot of my 8-year-old. This is totally something he would do with the megaphone like that. He would have a blast with it. I can't decide what's worse. Realness or real?
Gosh. I'm glad you did it this time, not me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just like my...
There it is. There it is. We had to. This episode of Classic Cartoon Rewind is brought to you by Dick Jokes. Dick Jokes. When you make a joke about your dick.
Sponsored by Dick's
That's like
Sporting Goods.
Did you ever see that?
Where you can get all your...
There's an SNL skit
Dicks.
like the guy who the guy that was in that anyways. The skit was two announcers, and they would usually be at some like women's sports function, like LPGA or something, and they'd be like, "Today's sporting event is brought to you by Stay Free Maxi Pads." That's Stay Free Maxi Pads. When your uterine lining looks like the elevator in The Shining, Stay Free Maxi Pads. That's one of my favorites. Oh, they got Mike too. Uh-oh. Co-host down. Oh shit. All right. You gonna be good?
I'm gonna be
okay.
good. It's just that was really funny.
Yeah. Good.
Good. Excellent, Smithers.
Release the hounds. I don't know about Race rocking a pink hoodie, but I am digging
Bro,
the
it's
colors.
progressive, man.
It's progressive. Now, have you seen any Harvey Birdman attorney at law?
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. Yes, of course I've seen that.
Have you seen? I think it's the second episode where they spoof Jonny Quest. It might be is it the first? It might actually be the first. I think I've only seen like two or three. No, the second one is where Scooby and Shaggy get arrested for like paraphernalia, right? Yeah. No, the first is a custody battle for Johnny and Haji between Race and Dr. Quest.
Nice.
Yeah, Race wants custody of the boys
Nice.
because Dr. Quest clearly doesn't give a shit. He really doesn't. He continuously puts them in like the boys have no business being in some of the dangerous places they are.
Of course not. I'm watching.
Okay.
You'll never learn, will you, boy?
Probably not.
Oh, baby seal. I thought it was a
Yeah.
walrus. They have
There was
walruses
a
and
walrus.
seal? No, you said baby seal.
Right. This is, before we had destroyed the oceans and melted the ice caps. And... You take your science to one of them coastal cities, Bubba.
Get him, bandit. Don't kick the dog, I swear.
Dude, you could punt Bandit. Like, the Batman punted Bandit! Dang it, Batman! Kill them all! Kill them all! The Batman and the Bandit on a motorcycle on my burrito. That's a blast case of emotion.
It's so funny. Stephanie and I actually watched that movie yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She'd never seen it all the way through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a list of movies like that for Ashley, too.
Oh, yeah.
She has never seen The Fifth Element, and that just got added to Netflix. So, yeah, that's how I know, right? And she keeps being like, I just don't think I'm going to like it. And it's like,
Are you kidding
it's
me?
great. It's great. Right. Multipass. Big bada boom. Big bada boom. Our 2-year-old is kind of like babble talking, and I'll say that back to him sometimes. Like, oh, yeah, I'm big
Just
bada
get
boom.
Ashley to
Yeah?
dress up in that costume.
There you go. Okay. This still sounds like only for me.
I mean, Stephanie's already dressed up in that costume before. So it's
Oh.
okay.
You're lucky Stephanie does. I know Stephanie doesn't listen to the podcast.
No,
Yep.
She'll listen to it when I listen to it in the car.
There you go. We'll be sure to tag her in social media this time.
Yes. She will love that. Why did y'all tag me in this? Oh, you guys shouted out at it like 5,000 times.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
So that land speeder,
Land speeder?
like that. I mean, what would you call the thing that
Pod racer?
Haji's drive?
Oh, look at that face.
That's a comic panel. Though.
Yeah, of course
you know
it
what I
is.
mean.
Yeah. Look at that face. Land speeder. Land rover.
I don't know. I don't know what you'll call it, but it's pretty sweet, whatever it is.
Fan boat.
Did you ever watch Archer?
Yes.
You know how much Archer loves those? Have you ever
Yes,
seen that one where
yes.
they're in the swamp? He's getting to drive and he's like, I'm sorry, Lana, I couldn't hear you over my massive erection. That would be pretty sweet to drive one of those.
Living in New Orleans, you never went on a swamp tour?
I actually didn't. You know they you know what they call those people though that use their their land boat, their airboats or whatever to after like a hurricane flood or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Cajun Navy. You ever heard that?
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They want to eat us, Johnny.
That might literally still be the same bad guy voice actor from the last one.
Probably
It sounds
is.
so right. And, you know,
Alan Rickman.
yeah, I'm googling when was Alan Rickman born now. If you're wondering, if you're wondering what that silence is.
Turn to page number 364.
Dude, he was born in 1946.
Oh, what?
He could have legitimately.
He was born in
I know.
1946?
Yeah.
Jeez
God, wouldn't that be
Louise.
hilarious if a young Alan Rickman. And as every bad guy on Jonny Quest, Alan Rickman.
Yeah, it's German. Shoot. Oh, those people die?
Yeah. Yeah, they a spaceship and a bomb went off. And if the explosion didn't kill them, it's sinking to the bottom of the Arctic will now.
Yeah, Johnny, they all died. Death
Yeah,
is real.
Your dad just murdered 8 people.
He's gonna go to jail.
No. King and Country. Mm-hmm.
thought he worked for the CIA.
Yeah, just keeping the British end up. Wonder which part's gonna be animated. Oh, the one part that's shaded different.
But take it easy.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like my dad. Have fun, but don't have too much fun.
Doesn't that sound like every dad?
I mean, dude, if I had a nickel for every time my dad had said that to me. That's a fun one. So my thought process is, so if those guys are Nazis in the Arctic, have they, like, just been up there the whole time since World War II?
Hydra.
And, like, are they aware if that Germany lost the war?
So, in towards the end of World War II, they were experimenting on, like, different kind of, like, they were trying to find super soldier serum, so
Sure.
they were experimenting, like, different weapons, technology, and whatnot. There was an idea that they made it to Antarctica,
Right.
and that they had a secret base down
I've
there
heard of
where
this.
they were
Yeah,
making like weapons of mass destruction. They were
Right.
making new
aircraft.
aircraft for the Luftwaffe
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So they could just be the last Nazis.
I think it's an interesting idea that
Hydra.
if they say they were put up there at the beginning of the war for some research, I don't know, make up whatever reason you want to.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly had like natives working with them as well, though. So like maybe there's like this one like group of Inuits that is influenced by Nazi propaganda. That'd be wild.
That would be wild.
That's one of my favorite like conspiracy theories too. Is like a group of Nazis living in like Brazil or South America or something after the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in Brazil, they have like a Civil War festival, American Civil War festival.
Why?
I have no clue.
That's weird.
Yeah, and like where people dress up.
It's like the North and the South.
Yeah,
That is bizarre.
it is.
Why?
But beats me, bro. I
Huh?
have to pull up the article next time I get back.
Yeah. There's got to be way better things to be doing in Brazil than
I mean,
reenacting a civil war from a country
it's more of like
an ocean away.
Confederacism.
Sure.
Yeah.
As in like favorable to the
Yeah.
South.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Or
It is, because most of it, from what I saw, was like everyone dressing up in Confederate uniforms,
Uh-huh.
and the girls dressed up in the nice dresses,
Huh.
Southern Belle dress, stuff like that. They're dancing in his
so it's like KA's Old South Party.
pretty much,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
or anything in the South
Sure.
fraternity.
That's weird. That's really well. We didn't do anything like that.
Oh, you didn't?
in my fraternity. No.
Oh.
No.
Wouldn't know.
Thoughts on Arctic Splashdown?
It was cool, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
So is
They
this
got
like
Haji, like-
aligning with your like? I think it's no secret that you weren't like.
I mean-
super excited about this series coming
Yeah,
into it.
I mean, I wasn't like, I'm not gonna lie, I was shitting on it for like a long time, but
Mhm.
now that like, just kind of like with
Mostly,
the
I
Max
think you
Fleischer-
just like giving me crap for the James Bond stuff.
maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
just because like literally every episode we've had of these guys have issues,
Right.
and Classic Cartoon.
This is impossible to.
Oh, I know.
ignore.
No, this
right.
it's not. I mean, it's like we're getting a young Bond. Like
Mhm.
this is like a precursor to Bond.
Well, Bond was pretty.
I know, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
the child version.
Yeah.
Like,
James
he's
Bond
he's
Jr.
a Spartan. He's a Master Chief before he was Master Chief.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's okay. I'm not gonna watch this on my own.
Oh, really?
No,
I
not.
fucking love these cartoons.
sorry, I won't watch this on my own.
Yeah.
It won't be something like I'm like, oh yeah, let me go watch the Jonny
Right.
Quest. But
I watched one for this long, like, it's towards the end of the series, because I knew we would have time to get there. And then I rewatched that Arctic Splash.
I can see why, like, if you're into film and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
the progression of like these animated shows, because I mean it's different than watching like the Flintstones or the Jetsons.
Right.
These are like something that you're superly interested in.
It's serious.
And-
There's
yeah.
not many jokes. Like,
There's little quibs here and there, but like nothing.
No, and most of it, if you took out Bandit, I think there would be a lot less humor in that. Maybe 90% of the humor in the series comes from
Bandit
Bandit
and then
antics.
The other comes
Most
from Haji.
episodes end with Bandit doing something like clumsy or whatnot, and
Yeah.
everybody laughs and fade to black.
Yeah, kind of like what the backswasher things at the very end where it's like, park in.
Right.
Ah.
Oh, if only Superman was there to help me, Lois. Ink. Yep. Okay, so Jonny Quest, here we are. Feels good.
It does.
Feels good.
Good.
Good. Okay, so be sure to join us next week for episodes 3 and 4 of Jonny Quest. That's going to be the Curse of Anubis.
Casavanobas.
The Curse of Anubis, Mr. Potter. And episode 4, Pursuit of the Poho.
Poho?
Poho. I believe it's a boat.
Oh, that would make sense.
Spoiler. Okay. Anything else to add, Mike? All right. As always, I have been your host, Carter Hutchison.
I'm your co-host, Mike Thomas.
See you next Saturday, kiddos.
This has been a Grassroots Comics production. Da da da! So what's your story?
Well, some kind of silly cartoon.
You got a problem with cartoons?